Yo, 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 it's your boy, Pravi MVP, and today we're finessing into the ultimate showdown. Pick and roll versus the isolation. In NBA 2K25, we're breaking down which play style reigns supreme and how to dominate with each, and why most players get it all wrong. So, whether you're a team first tactician or an ISO god in the making, this video got the tips, the tricks, and the insights you need to take your game to the next level. 85% of y'all watching my videos aren't subscribed, so hit that sub button and the notification bell. We hit 300 subs. I really appreciate the support. Blessings to you all and the Most High. Also, we included new, live, raw, uncut, unedited gameplay on my Snag Mahomes build, hitting gold tier, pyramid, in the proving grounds, done with all randoms. I'm featuring screenshots back when I was an ISO guard myself with a set squad, so you can see my opinion is valid. So let's dive in. First, we breaking down the pick and roll type guard 10 pack. Let's get into it. Number one, efficient teammate involvement. The pick and roll actively incorporates multiple players into every play. The ball handler makes decisions not only for their own scoring, but also to set up teammates like the roll man, spot up shooters, or the cutters. This creates a dynamic offensive flow that isolation play often lacks. For example, a successful screen, it can free up the shooters in the corner or lead to easy dunks for the rolling big man or a free midi for the PG. Number two, exploiting mismatches. When defenders switch on a PNR, a mismatch is almost inevitable. Guards can exploit slower bigs for pull-up threes or drive to the basket, while bigs can punish smaller players in the post. This forces defenses into uncomfortable situations and leads to higher percentage scoring opportunities, which is what the game is about. I don't know what people get on 2K for. Like, you're not just out here just to score points. You have to score efficiently. And that's one thing that this definitely helps happen. Moving on. Number three, improve court vision and decision making. Running a PNR requires the ball handler to read the defense quickly. Is the defender going over or under the screen? Is the roll man open? Are the corner shooters left uncovered? This constant decision making sharpens a player's ability to react and read under pressure, making them more effective in diverse situations compared to guards who primarily rely on isolation. Telling you, your head got to be on the swivel. That's why PNR guards, I'm telling you, but we're going to continue to break it down. Number four, versatility to switch to isolation. PNR guards can seamlessly, not all, a lot of them can though, but I ain't gonna even say a lot. A good percentage of them can. PNR guards can seamlessly, especially the comp ones. So I'm talking from a comp perspective. PNR guards can seamlessly switch to isolation when the defenses adjust. For example, if the screener defender hedges too high and a guard can isolate and blow past them for a layup, this adaptability makes PNR players more versatile and unpredictable compared to pure isolation guards. Number five, better shooting accuracy. PNR guards are often the better shooters because they need to capitalize on defenders going under screens. This ability to pull up from mid-range or beyond the arcs, it keeps the defenders honest, opening up more opportunities to attack. In contrast, isolation guards rarely rely on contested shots that are less efficient, especially in 2K25. That dude who be like, I don't need no screens. But then you watching him playing ISO, like, bro, you're not creating anything. You're just running into the paint where the defense is waiting and then passing it to somebody else to create. So if you cannot create an isolation, stop saying you don't need no screens. Yes, you do. Number six, just because you can't shoot, it really be covering the fact that a lot of these guards out here in 2K25 cannot shoot to save their life. They be running past the mid-range like it doesn't exist, like it's not wide open. They'll run out of a open mid-range right into the big who's standing in the paint with his hands up, who did not move from the spot that he was. They don't even wait and be patient to try to make the big man have to slide out the paint for he can't contest them, like, playing the 3 seconds in the key game. They don't even do that. They just brain dead. Number six, breaking down defenses. The PNR forces defenders to make split-second decisions. Should they help on the roll, stick to their man, or switch? This constant pressure often leads to defensive breakdowns, creating open looks for shooters or easy layups for the roll man. It's a nightmare for even the best defensives to guard, especially especially when you're going against a comp guard who is at the top at running the pick and roll. It's going to open up so much stuff and cause so much frustration, especially if the screens hit. And if the big man know what he doing and can pass to, and his screens hitting, and he's an efficient big man like Snag Mahomes, you're going to have a very, 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 very hard. This is going to be a back and forth game. It's going to be very hard. Number 7, dynamic play style. PNR guards excel in versatility. They can drive, shoot, pass, or fake, making their play style much harder to predict. A PNR sequence might start with a pick but evolve into a pull-up jumper, a lob to a big, or a kick out to the corner shooter. This diversity keeps defenses guessing and maximizes the offensive efficiency for all players that are involved on the floor. I'm telling you, bro, a lot of these dudes that be like, bro, I need space, I don't need this. They don't really have that skill set. It's a responsibility that only a few players can really maximize. They over here watching Joe Knows. They be like, oh, Joe Knows doing it. You're not Joe Knows, bro. You're not. Everybody doesn't have his skill set to do what you see him doing. And a lot of people try to do it, but it's a very hard thing to do. Coming from an ISO guard myself, it's a lot of pressure and it's a constant you making the right decision. Honestly, when I think back on it, I'd be like, I don't even know why I put all that pressure on myself. Because every time we lost against a good team, everybody blamed me. That's what happens as the ISO guard. People don't know how that really feels when you're really playing pro-am or something like that, or competitive. Like you're the ISO guard in this game. When you lose, everything is your fault. So when you say I don't need screens and we lose the game, it's your fault. It's whoever the guard was that said he don't need screens and we couldn't score efficiently, and he the one said he didn't need screens. Bruh, it's your fault. That's the responsibility when you decide to be an ISO guard. Number 8, stretching the defense. When a guard constantly runs a PNR, it often pulls the opposing big man away from the rim to defend the screen. This opens up the paint for slashers and cuts, making it easier for them to score in multiple ways. By contrast, isolation play often keeps defenders stationary, allowing them to clog the driving lanes and not even use any of their stamina. They just be watching the ball. They be watching it. They almost like it's almost like a spectator sport at that point, especially if the guard is not dynamic calling plays out of the isolation. People get into isolation and think, okay, I'm supposed to just try to score every play. I'm not supposed to call no back doors. I'm not supposed to call no fifis. I'm not supposed to call no off balls. I'm not supposed to call nothing. You ain't out here running no plays, nothing. You just out here trying to score every play, hoping that when somebody slide over, you're gonna just hit their man and they're gonna be wide open. So when you play competitive, you're going to lose because they're not gonna give you that type of look or those type of coverages. They're gonna complicate it. They're gonna make you do certain things to see if you can do it. Like they're not gonna just let you run to the rim if you can't shoot. They're gonna make you shoot a couple times to see can he really shoot or just he hit this time. Like number 9, higher efficiency compared to isolation. Isolation guards rely heavily on one-on-one scoring, which often results in contested shots. PNR guards, however, create scoring opportunities for themselves and teammates by exploiting the defensive gaps. This leads to higher shooting percentages and more efficient team play overall. I'm trying to tell people in 2K25, I haven't seen too many good ISO guards. They say that and then they sell the game. But PNR guards, especially at the proving grounds, I'm talking especially at this level at proving grounds, is typically a PNR guard or some type of mix in of PNR plus the ability to isolate. But they never, you don't really see them in there like, I don't need no screens, because they know what it is to really score, especially when there's locks and good defenders on the court. You're going to need those certain type of things just to be able, you don't need those screens to be able to get your scoring off. Number 10, it's a natural team chemistry booster. The constant interaction between the ball handler and the screener fosters teamwork. Players involved in the PNR feel engaged and are more likely to stay focused on the offensive scheme. This chemistry often translates into smoother gameplay and better results over time compared to isolation heavy systems that where teammates may feel underutilized. These points, they underline the effectiveness of the pick and roll and why it's always been dang near considered the cornerstone of modern basketball strategy in NBA 2K25 and all the previous 2Ks. Now let's break down the 10 pack of ISO, because I know from hearing that you probably feel like, oh, you don't care about ISO. No, I've been an ISO guard myself. It's just a lot. I just understand that the responsibility of it a lot of people shouldn't be trying to do it. It's just the honesty. You supposed to be very high efficiency. Like my screenshots earlier, bro, I'm shooting above 70% from the field as a guard. That's what you have to do. You have to be extremely efficient, high assist to turnover ratio, all of that. And I was guarding ball. I always guarded ball. You can ask anybody that played with me. I always guarded ball. I was the ISO guard who ISO and I guard ball. And I was doing it in the pro am. I was doing it on every level. Every time we played comp, I never hit in the corner. I always played at the top of the zone. I always guard my matchup. If he was ISO and 5 out and just like me, I guarded the 5 out and ran the 5 out. So these guards that hide in the corner, I never did that. And I had an 88 win percentage, 80 plus in every single game mode. In every single game mode. I just couldn't find all the screenshots, and I wasn't but to keep holding up the video trying to find that. But I will find them. But let's get down to breaking down this 10 pack of ISO. So, number one, high efficiency requires elite decision making. Isolation can generate high percentage shots when executed properly. It requires the ball handler to quickly analyze matchups, defensive positioning, and spacing. However, most players lack the ability to constantly make the right decisions, leading to forced shots or turnovers. Players like Joe Knows thrive here because of their exceptional awareness, which is most in the community. They do not possess, nor do they have the teammates around him for when he's off his game to keep them in the game. Y'all don't understand. This is a whole nother level that y'all not on your team. Even if you're on his level, you gotta have teammates that's on his teammates level, and you don't. That's just the reality. A lot of people don't. Number two, low turnovers demand superior ball control. Elite isolation players minimize turnovers by maintaining tight ball control and avoiding predictable moves. Without this skill, guards often lose the ball to defensive pressure. Many players fail to understand how to protect their dribble while reading help defenders, which is crucial for effective isolation play. Like I touched on earlier, I'm telling you, you have to be able to protect the ball. You turning over the ball and you an isolation player, you basically can't run the ISO anymore. You're going to be removed. Your team will start to turn on you. I'm trying to tell you, it's you. And that's why a lot of dudes get mad and wrecked when they see you trying to ISO or you swear you didn't need screens. A lot of bigs be mad and ready to jump through the screen on y'all because you swear you don't need screens, but you out here selling the team. It don't make no sense. Getting turnovers back to back. How you getting ripped in the open court before you even make it past half court? I see it all the time. Number three, efficient scoring over flashy numbers. True isolation pay isn't about putting up high scoring numbers every game. It's about creating efficient scoring opportunities. Unfortunately, these bot players focus solely on stats, scoring stats, forcing bad shots instead of maximizing efficiency. This often leads to lower shooting percentages, missed opportunities to involve teammates. And that's why a lot of teammates do not like ISO or 5 out because you do not involve them. Now, let me tell you what I used to do. When we used to get up high, when we in rec or pro-am or in the park, I would let them ISO. My corner players, I would let them practice their ISO because I told them if we get in the games, y'all need to be able to have some more moves for y'all to score because we was losing when we get against real competitive people. And I done had games, bro, I scored 70 points in pro-am. And I'm talking about I'm a 35-0 team against another team, and I have 70 something points and still lost because it didn't matter because when they're staying home and forcing me to score all the points, because some teams have that strategy. They will stay home and force you to score every single bucket when they realize, damn, he died and shit. We can't help, and his shooters is shooting when they wide open, and they force basically they put a lot of they just good at making you be the one. You gonna beat them, man. And then when you try to need people to hit certain shots, I didn't have people miss game-winning shots wide open. But that's what happens when you don't allow them to practice in certain situations. So when I get up high, I let them take over. Hey, bro, and I know I got points and all that. Hey, Jay, come run the ISO at the top. Hey, Peso, come run the ISO at the top. Hey, this dude, whoever we had picked up, I tell them come run the ISO at the top of the key. You get some buckets. You know, do your thing. And they had fun doing it, and people wanted to continue to play with me. Every time I used to get on, people already lined up. I sold my account though. That was the another thing where I messed up. I sold my account. Number four, Isolation requires advanced passing ability. Isolation doesn't just mean scoring. It's also about creating opportunities for teammates without when the defense collapse. Most point guards in the community struggle with this, either overpassing or failing to spot open shooters. Isolation demands elite passing vision to punish help defenders, a skill that only a few players master and a few players understand, bro. That's why, like I said, this is not a responsibility for everybody because you don't understand about the pinpoint, how pinpoint and prompt your passing got to be if you the person running the ISO. It's not supposed to be delayed, late, or nothing like that. You messing up everything. Number 5, three-point shooting is essential. A major misconception in isolation play is avoiding three-pointers. Guards often try to drive every possession, which makes their play style predictable. True isolation players create and convert open three-point shots, forcing defense to react, and respect their range. This skill is rare in a community where many guards hesitate to shoot threes consistently and just focus on rim running and just be messing up the game, getting turnovers, doing stunts, because eventually they're not about to let you rim run the whole game. A lot of guards want to ISO to try to cover the fact they can't shoot. You cannot cover that, bro. You're a point guard, you're a shooting guard, you're a small forward. If you're anything but a center, you're supposed to be able to shoot. I need y'all to understand that. In this game, in 2K25, yes, in real life things be different, but if you're playing this game, bro, on these type of builds, you need to be able to shoot. No hesitation. I'm talking about especially if you playing competitively, and they already know that. They already know that damn near every build can shoot competitively. The only one that can that would be acceptable is a Snag Mahomes type build. That's the only one to be acceptable because it's helping them shoot better. That's the point. It's helping them shoot better and cover their weaknesses. Number 6, high skill ceiling for creating space. Isolation plays relies on the ability to create separation from defenders, often through advanced dribble moves, step backs, or quick first steps. Most players lack the skill to execute these moves efficiently, leading to contested shots or turnovers. Players like Joe Knows excel because of their precise timing and the mastering of the dribbling mechanics and the team around him for when things ain't going well. Y'all have to understand that matters too. But that's why a lot of people like to run the ISO is because the high ceiling for spacing, which I understand. Players who thrive in space, like myself, on a point guard, I am an ISO guard. I can't lie. I do prefer space. But I could run the pick and roll as well. It was a dude named Luda. I used to be my center. I used to run with the pick and roll, and I used to dominate with him too. It's just you got to be a certain type of center if you run a pick and roll with me. Like that's just what it is. Number 7, effortless shot variety. Isolation players need to score at all three levels: rim, mid-range, and beyond the arc. This requires a deep offensive bag and the ability to adapt to defensive schemes. Many community players are one-dimensional, relying on drives or pull-ups, which makes them easier to guard because they don't use the mid-range. I was a fucking monster in the mid-range because often people give that up. They be either backing up too far to try to take away the rim, or they playing too tight trying to take away the three. So it was always a game with me, or they would damn near just give it up because they can't stop the drive. Like they wanted to stop the three, but they can't stop all three. So you're supposed to be mixing up that shot diet as a ISO guard, and that's what I used to do. But a lot of my damage came from two. But soon as you start backing up, because I could tell when they backing up and no longer playing the three, I would just hit the three. I would hit it every damn near every time it was available. Or some games as the ISO guard, I come straight out with it because they play back sometimes when the game first start, and missing the first shot ain't gonna kill you, especially if it's a good shot. Number 8, consistency and creating high percentage shots. Isolation isn't about the flashy highlights. It's about consistently creating the best scoring opportunities. The best isolation players make smart reads to exploit defensive gaps every possession. Most guards, however, struggle to maintain this consistency, either forcing bad shots or missing open looks because they cannot cover up the fact that they're selfish. A lot of guards are too selfish to be isolation guards. Number 9, this requires balance between scoring and team involvement. One of the biggest challenges in isolation play is balancing the individual scoring with the team involvement. Many guards either focus too much on scoring or overpass when pressured, disrupting the whole flow of the offense. Elite isolation players involve teammates without compromising their ability to score effectively. Number 10, Isolation play is misunderstood as selfish play. The best isolation players use their play style to benefit the team, not just themselves. They draw double teams, open up shooters, and create mismatches, all while scoring effectively. Many players fail to understand this, using isolation selfishly, which hurts the team chemistry and offensive flow. The debate between pick and roll and isolation in NBA 2K25 ultimately comes down to play style preference, skill level, and team dynamics. The pick and roll excels in creating efficient team based offense, generating mismatches and involving multiple players in the game. Its versatility allows guards to not only score, but also make quick reads and set up teammates for easy baskets. On the other hand, isolation relies heavily on individual skill and decision making. When mastered, it can break down defenses, create high percentage shots, and put pressure on even the best defenders. However, its high ceiling makes it a challenge for the most players in the community to execute effectively. Both playstyles have their strengths and weaknesses, but the key difference lies in the approach. Pick and roll offers more of a balance and a reliable way to run an offense, with guards using their IQ to create opportunities for the entire team. Isolation, while rewarding for skilled players, can become inefficient or selfish when not executed properly. In competitive play, the most successful guards are those who can blend the elements of both play styles, running the pick and roll to get teammates involved while using isolation when the matchup or situation calls for it. Ultimately, the best guards in NBA 2K25 aren't defined by a play style. They use their ability to adapt and make smart decisions and elevate their team's performance regardless of the situation. And that's a wrap, y'all. Whether you cooking with the pick and roll or breaking ankles in isolation, the key is making them smart reads. Let me know in the comments which play style you rocking with and how it's working for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't just miss the next drop. It's your boy Pravi MVP signing off. Keep grinding, stay clutch, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.